Hello out there. I am Dr. Leslie, and I am here for part two of my series on human trafficking. And this is a new platform for me. So I am here with the platform called Alert and Aware. And I am here to bring you information about important social and medical issues that affect our everyday lives. And I'm going to we'll give a little bit of time for people to come in today, not trying to rush things, but want to make sure that people can get this information. So first of all, who am I? I'm Dr. Leslie. I am a board certified emergency physician, an international speaker, a best-selling author, and the CEO of a medical practice, Concierge Medicine, known as the Sharp Medical Group. So this is, as I said, part two of my episodes on human trafficking. So human trafficking is something that many people think is only in other countries. It doesn't affect us here in the United States. Well, they are very wrong. Human trafficking is present in the United States and affects so many different industries that we might not even think about it. And human trafficking doesn't mean transportation from one country to another necessarily. Human trafficking can be from one state to another. It can actually even be within one city. And there's some states that have a lot more human trafficking than others, but I am here in Texas, and Texas is actually one of the highest states in the country for human trafficking, which I'm sorry to say. And hopefully, as more information is being spread, more people will be aware of this and we can stop this atrocity. So today I want to focus on labor trafficking specifically. So all of the different areas of human trafficking can overlap. And labor trafficking can overlap with sex trafficking, with prostitution, with domestic servitude. All of these can come into play. Labor trafficking in particular, when we think about it, we think of people, as I said, most often coming from other countries, and they get this promise of great life here in the US. You can make lots of money, you can send money home to your family, you can then bring them over and start a wonderful life for not only yourself, but all of your relatives. Sad to say, oftentimes this process starts with the recruitment of those individuals. They're made all of these promises, and they're often even coerced into signing contracts that aren't right. They don't realize what's wrong with them necessarily, but they're just not right. And what ends up happening is they come over, they get meager wages. Their plan, remember, is to send money back to their families at home. Well, that's a very small amount that ends up being sent back, and then they have even less to live on here. They then become dependent on their employers. And when you are in a job where you're working 7 days a week, 12-hour days, you have no transportation, you have no phone, you have no ID. And so even your basic necessities, you have to go to your employer. And your employer can charge literally whatever they want. You're usually kept in some place that is outside of the community. So you can't just run to your closest drugstore and get your necessities. No, you're dependent on your employer. And something quite basic, as I said, can cost a lot more than it should. And over time, you actually become indebted to your employer. So rather than that promise of making all this money, you are now sucked deeper and deeper into this labor trafficking. So what is forced labor? I'm going to read this. This is when individuals are compelled to provide work or service through use of fraud, force, or coercion. The indicators may take place during the recruitment, as I mentioned before, or forced to accept the job, to coerce the worker into exploitative jobs, to create debt bondage by charging recruitment fees that cannot reasonably be paid. So that's another way that if you can't pay this debt off because you're not given enough as far as your wages, you're once again still stuck in the same position. The majority of forced labor is in domestic work. However, we can't think just of domestic because there are so many other industries. It includes everything from janitorial services to construction work to landscaping to door-to-door salespeople, traveling sales crews. It can include your salons. People think about the nail salons. People think about massage parlors. You can think about areas such as restaurants, big one in the restaurants, factory workers, all of these individuals, which you may see and interact with on a daily basis. You don't realize their plight. They are working and you think they're making the same amount as you are. Not necessarily so. Or even if they are making the same amount as you, such a large portion of that is being stripped away. And if you're living outside the community, for example, oh, well, you still have to pay for your housing. They may or may not charge you for your meals, your sleeping arrangements, all those things. Money is constantly being taken out. So each year, according to the US Department of State, each year, anywhere from 14,500 to 17,500 individuals are brought into the United States as trafficking victims. There's a lot that can be said as far as different views people have had about political issues, as far as who's taking American jobs and things like that. These are people that are seeking a better life and ending up oftentimes in worse situations than when they were at their homes. Now, as I said, those are people that are coming in from other countries. Here in the United States, people are also trafficked the same exact way because they're looking to build up their circumstances and then get caught up into these things. As I said, these can also blend in with sex trafficking, where exploitation is then used same way, and people are forced to do things that they are just unable to break the cycle. So, if you want to hear more about human trafficking, if I can be of service to your organization or group, please reach out to me. You can reach me right here at my bit.ly link, which is bit.ly/ Dr. Leslie Speaker. So please, I can provide your organization with information and you can find out how not only to know the warning signs of human trafficking, but how we can help to break this trend. Once again, I am Dr. Leslie. I'm a board certified emergency physician, an international speaker, a best-selling author, and the CEO of concierge medicine practice known as the Sharp Medical Group. So I hope you found this informative and stay tuned because I will be back again to talk about other areas of human trafficking. So until next time, stay healthy, stay well, and be blessed. This is my segment on Alert and Aware. Take care for now.